What's up, guys? Welcome to the film room. We are back for our third quiz already, and this one is going to be focused on how to play team defense. So if you're new to these quizzes, make sure you check out quiz 1 and 2 that are focused on offense, but this quiz is going to be set up and structured like this. You're going to see a possession where I'm going to ask you a question like, in this particular situation, who was responsible for stopping the basketball? Player A, B, or C? You're going to get a chance to watch the possession, see it again at full speed, and then I'm going to break it down. And we'll actually revisit this possession later in the test. So here's your first quiz question. When this ball screen gets set, player A, B, or C is primarily responsible for giving up this layup, and I want you to watch the possession at full speed and decide who you think made the mistake. Now, what we can assume by the defensive alignment and movement is that they were in what's called a flat hedge defensive ball screen coverage. And that means that the on-ball defender is going to fight over the top of the ball screen while the screener's defender is going to stay flat and in front of the basketball to make sure that the ball handler can't get straight downhill, while these two defenders back here, known as tag defenders, are going to worry about the roll man, while this fifth defender is going to stay with his matchup because we never want to help out of the strong side corner. So what we can see at this point is that player A did a good job of fighting over the top of the screen to get back in front, and even though player C is getting boxed out by his man right now, he's in the position that he's supposed to be in. So the correct answer is that player B did not do his job well, and the reason why is because his body position right now is opened up, allowing this guard to turn the corner and get downhill when he's supposed to be flat and in front of the ball to make sure that he can't turn the corner.
Able to finish over the top. I'm telling you, you look at this Gonzaga team and all they've accomplished so far this season, how many weapons they have.
Question number 2 involves another ball screen. So what you need to answer is who is primarily responsible? The two players involved in the ball screen, this backside tag defender, or player C who ultimately commits the foul on the shooter. Now, one of the things we talked about in question 1 should have helped you eliminate one of these answers. Because this was a step-up ball screen going to the left, player C is the strong side corner, so he needs to stay home, and he is not at fault for this possession. Now, player B is one of the tag defenders in this possession, and he really should be all the way over to the midline because of where the screen is set to help on this roll man, but ultimately, he wasn't the primary mistake on this possession. So the answer is A. The two players involved in the ball screen were the ones who screwed this up, and I'm going to show you why. As the guard comes off this ball screen, it looks as though the defense has switched, which would have been well executed if that's what they had planned on doing. But a few frames later, you can see the big pointing to the guard saying that he needs to get back to his matchup so that he can return back to his big, which indicates that they were actually in a hedge and recover, not a switch. And because of this miscommunication, watch what happens. They both try and recover to the big, and then they both try and go back and recover to the basketball, and because they weren't on the same page about their coverage, that's what left the big open at the rim.
Weren't with us at the outset of the game. Higgins had a layup uncontested, which he missed.
Question number 3 is the possession that you saw at the beginning of this video as the example of what this quiz would look like, so you have to answer the question. On this slot drive, who is responsible for stopping the ball? Is it player A, player B, or player C? The answer to this question is so important because you get into the details of how does a defense rotate when somebody gets beat. Because whether you like it or not, this is going to happen to every team. So player A is the strong side corner, and the reason we don't help from here, like we've said earlier, is because if you help and he kicks it to the corner, there's nobody else to help and he's going to get an open shot. Player C isn't a great option either because he might not even be able to get all the way over into help before the ball handler goes to score, and even if he gets there, he's going to be leaving his man wide open for an easy kick out. And that leaves player B as the man who needs to step up and help or be the rim protector on this drive. And this is actually where we start to understand the concept of defensive rotations, because as he stops the ball, he's going to be leaving his man wide open, and that's where player C is going to help the helper or do what's referred to as cracking back and taking his man to stop that pass from being open. And then the third piece of the puzzle is this defender is going to have to be the one who rotates all the way back to the wing in case the point guard does throw that skip pass. Question number 4 is a very similar situation to question number 3. So who is responsible for this layup? Is it player A, player B, or player C? Now, the first thing that's important about this possession is that there was a ball screen that was set that forced the defense to hedge, and now player A is going to have to help and recover, which is going to make him late to his closeout on number 40. By now, you should recognize that player C is the strong side corner defender, and he's going to stay home and not help. Now, if your answer is A, because this player got beat off the bounce and it's his responsibility, I don't disagree with you. I just want you to keep in mind that player A just got done hedging on a ball screen and now is recovering to a very good pick and pop shooter, and that's a difficult thing to ask of a 7-footer. So inevitably, when people get beat off the bounce, which is going to happen, it is the responsibility of player B to step up out of the hole and stop the basketball from scoring. Because once we do that, then we can help the helper by cracking back, and then you can rotate one more if they decide to kick the ball out to the wing. So based off the things that we've just seen, in question 5, how do you think the defense could prevent the offense from getting this wide open look right here for a dunk? I'd like to offer up 2 different solutions based on what we've talked about in this quiz already. This possession starts with what's referred to as a ghost screen, where the player makes it look like he's going to set a screen, but then he slips out to the wing for a pick and pop. Now, what could have happened is the big could have stayed in flat hedge coverage and kept the ball in front of him like we saw in the first question, and if they decided to throw it back to the ghost screener, you could have got a stunt from this player right here to keep him from getting an open look. But as soon as he got downhill, we get into the same situation that we just saw. The big is now doing a great job of stepping up and stopping the ball, but to keep this big from getting an open dunk, we need a crackback from this man right here. I decided to throw in a bonus question to see if you can watch this possession and see what went wrong. I'm not going to give you any prompts, but you're going to get to see it twice. Now, this possession is a combination of everything that we've seen in questions 1 through 5. You're going to get this middle ball screen, and the first thing I want you to see is that the guard did a bad job of getting over the top, and he kind of just laid on this screen. And that ultimately makes it harder for the big because now he has to stay in front of the ball longer. And the big made the same mistake that we saw in possession 1, where he got his shoulders open, and instead of staying flat in front of the ball, he allowed the guard to turn the corner and get straight downhill. But as soon as that happened, you see a great effort by the crackback defender sprinting down to the big so that the guard in the hole can step up and they won't give up an easy layup. But as he's doing that, this defender doesn't know he's going to get back, and so instead of stepping up and stopping the ball, he fakes at him to try and steal that pass if he makes it, and he ends up being the one that gives up the layup. Hopefully this video opened your eyes to how important the details of defense are and making sure that everybody is on the same page. And if you have a request for the next topic for a video, let me know in the comments. Thanks for coming through. We'll see you next time in the film room.